I'm Georgia and this is The Sound of Georgia. And welcome to the first video of 2022. Jesus, what happened to 2017? So on New Year's Eve I watched Sound of Music to end the year on a bit of a high note. But as usually happens when I watch the movie, afterwards I go back and watch or listen to How Can Love Survive and No Way to Stop It. Because, well, I love them and they're not in the movie. And when I do that I always see comments of people going, oh, I wish they hadn't cut this one. They shouldn't have cut these ones. It was a bad idea to cut them. So, was it? Should they have been cut? Yes. Sorry musical fans, but yes. Axing How Can Love Survive and No Way to Stop It was the right decision for the movie. Sound of Music's actually kind of interesting because there is a very big difference between the stage version and the film. Now obviously this is not limited to Sound of Music. Plenty of other film adaptations are hugely different from the original stage counterparts. Mary Poppins, In the Heights. I mean, Mary Poppins came out several years after the movie, but still, very different. And the thing is, there are a lot of people out there who really, really love the musical. Like, there are plenty of Sound of Music fans out there who really, really love the stage version and don't care quite as much about the film. And then there are plenty of people who love the film so much and don't realise just how different the stage version is. And those people in the first group are always the ones that pop up when it comes to these two songs. In fact, one of the comments called it Robert's unwise decision. Very punny. But in actuality, it wasn't Bob Wise's decision so much as it was Ernest Clayman. And I've made a whole video on Ernest Clayman because he was seriously the unsung hero of the movie. No disrespect to Howard Lindsay and Russell Crouse, but he made that script a million times better. But if you didn't know, How Can Love Survive and No Way to Stop It are both sung by Elsa and Max, and they both revolve around Elsa and the captain's relationship. How Can Love Survive is about how compatible they are as a couple, and No Way to Stop It essentially seals their breakup. A lot of the stage musical fans say Elsa and Max are really bland in the film. And while I disagree, I do know what they mean. I would not call Elsa and Max bland by any stretch of the imagination, but they do work off each other slightly better on stage. But that's because of the differences between the show and the film from a storytelling point of view. They're not bland because they have nothing to do. It's just that what they do is very, very different from what they do in the stage version. The change of the film may require them to take on a different role. These songs weren't cut to, say, like, trim the runtime or something. The movie's actually longer than the stage production. But because of the fundamental differences the movie has that differs from the stage version in regards to tone and plot, these two songs would not have worked. So we'll start with No Way to Stop It. As I said, in the stage version, this song is what essentially causes Elsa and Georg to break up. On stage, Maria is secondary to their breakup. What really causes them to end things is their political differences. The captain is very, very strongly anti-Nazi, and Elsa's pretty cavalier about the whole thing. Politics is not something that's really brought up too much in the film, considering that it's set in the late 1930s. I mean, you know it's there and it does play into the plot at the end and you know he's very, very anti-Nazi, but that's about it. In the show, it's central to the plotline with Max and Elsa and the captain, and this is why it was axed. The film came out in 1965, in the middle of the Vietnam War. While the show doesn't go into really, really specific detail about politics, it does go into enough that they considered it might not be the best thing for audiences in 1965. So the political element was cut out of Captain and Elsa's relationship, and instead we get the pseudo-love triangle. And with No Way to Stop It gone, it kind of makes sense to cut How Can Love Survive as well. Unlike No Way to Stop It, the How Can Love Survive scene still exists in the movie. Timeline-wise, How Can Love Survive takes place between this moment and this moment. And obviously those two scenes are back to back in the film. But that's exactly when it takes place in the stage version. Georg goes off to find the children, Elsa and Max start singing, Georg joins them, the song ends, and then Wolf turns up. So in a sense, the scene for How Can Love Survive is still in the film. So from that angle, and the fact that it doesn't reference politics at all, it could have stayed. But if that was the only time Max and Elsa were singing, then I think it would feel a little out of place. Not that song specifically, but just that they have a song at all. Another thing they realised when they were cutting the songs was that doing so would provide a different contrast between Elsa and Maria. So I've made videos where I rank all of the outfits these ladies wear in the film. But if you look at their wardrobe, you'll notice that they're very different. Maria wears a lot of neutral and creams and blues, and Elsa's very pink and red and gold and that. Which was obviously intentional and definitely meant to show the differences between these two. But Elsa not getting a song plays into another version of that. Marie is the right woman for the captain, so she gets to sing. Elsa's not the right person for him, so she doesn't. So that's why those songs were cut and why Max and Elsa don't sing in the film. And that's everything I've got for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think it was a good idea that these songs were cut? Or can you see a way they could have worked them into the movie as is? Even with the differences between the stories. And of the 3 that were cut, what is your favourite? Mine definitely has to be No Way to Stop It. Stay safe, guys. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my video next time. So long, farewell!